is the story that we were just talking about. Not like all the stories. The story of like our landlords when we were leaving Ohio to come to Tanzania. The job, all that process. Sama, shalom. I'm trying not to yell so I don't wake your kids up.
Nice.
When you come in, like the video because
Welcome
you know.
to this video. Why you like way over there?
Because you gotta like the video. Because what we're gonna talk about, we're talking about juicy information. So leave a like. So this whole bank collapse thing, the Silicon Valley Bank. So do y'all know what Silicon Valley is for? Silicon Valley has all the big tech companies and tech hubs. So like Google, Shopify, Meta, all of those. So a lot of people, businesses, families, a lot of people are going to be affected. And this is just the very beginning. Right, Teo? Ain't no 400-year prophecy. Salam a day. I don't know what to tell them. If they can't see it now, I don't know. If they can't see it now, they're just not going to see it, I guess. Because the bank collapse, like, that's like one step before a dollar crashing. Or the dollar crashing. Why is it one step before the dollar crashing? Because 20 other banks just lined up in the red. Oh, you know what one of the banks was? Fifth Third Bank.
Wow.
Yeah. Fifth Third Bank. If you're in Columbus, Ohio, or if you're in Ohio or Pennsylvania, Fifth Third Bank is on the brink also. They're in the red. I actually found, maybe I'll upload that later to the comment section. But I found some resources talking about the next 20 banks that are in the red. And just so you guys know, these banks that have been crashing, because it's not just Silicon Valley Bank, there's 2 other ones that have crashed in the last 2 weeks. And so when the banks collapse, what happens is, and I'm not a financial advisor, but I know about finances. That's my little disclaimer. So when these banks collapse, what happens is people start freaking out, obviously because of all the talk about the banks collapsing, then they don't have money to pay back. So once people get wind of that, what pushes the collapse further is that people just keep drawing their money out, which of course, you know, that's your money, that's your business. But the banks, the numbers that you see on your account, most of the time they're not really there. Most of the time they're trading that money. And so if they lost on one of their trades,
in stock. Yeah.
they lost on one of their trades, they traded wrong and just didn't do it right, then guess what? You have Silicon Valley Bank crash. And I would bet that most of those customers of the Silicon Valley Bank, just because the type of bank that it is, are those elite Ashkenazi-ish people that funded the slave trade. That's just a little hunch I have, but what do you think?
Especially like with the big companies, yeah. It's coming to an end, guys. It's coming to an end very fast. Right in front of your eyes. You know, you just gotta wake up.
You're so funny.
No, for real though, like it's right in front of us, day by day. I'm not sure. I know in my spirit what I've been feeling. It's coming a new year. So the Most High revealed something to me the other day. It's called this. T. Dot H. I. Or T. Dot H. I. That's it? Yeah, this. So he revealed to me to harvest in season, and this it's a new season coming. It's a whole new year coming. So you just gotta pay attention, guys.
Look, we ain't even at the new year. He said, "No, I gotta shut this down."
Exactly.
These
exactly.
wicked folks ain't about to go on no longer.
So it's coming up pretty soon, but just gotta pay attention, guys.
Yeah, I mean, people, they're just not. if they don't get it now, for me, 2019 opened our eyes for us. 2019, when I'm seeing news headlines, and a lot of times people that are visionaries can kind of like see the future and see like obviously this is going to lead to mass jabs and all of this stuff. What this is going to lead to is not going to be good. So back when the pandemic thing, sickness, whatever it is, first started, that was like we gotta get out of here. We thought we were late getting out back then. You remember that? We were in a rush, y'all. We were like, wow, the time almost passed.
Really, we thought we had a nice little window, maybe July through November or something.
Yeah.
But as soon as we got the last passport we needed, we was out. We was gone.
Yeah, no plan. Because I want you guys to think of something. It's good that the bank that crashed, so that it's the bank that did crash is a warning to our people, right? Because that bank, I'm guessing there weren't many black customers if you look into the demographics of that bank and who owns that bank. So it had a big impact on large employers and people are getting laid off. But the accounts that lost money were like Roblox is one of the customers. So that tells you what type of clients they have on their client roster.
Roblox.
Yeah, Roblox
You
lost.
talking about like the game?
Yeah.
That's a big game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those big companies. Roblox. Yeah, they lost it was like 150 million or a billion. Was it 150? It was one of those numbers. And they're like they only got 250,000 left to run to run the company. So, if you're working at Roblox, you probably won't be getting paid. So this is the writing on the wall. If there was ever a time for y'all to want to pack your bags and leave, it would be now.
Yeah, pretty soon.
Like, if I were y'all, but y'all already know if I was y'all would have been gone because I'm not there. If the Most High gives you the grace and the power to go, it's just like we have so many instances in the Bible where people are leaving, fleeing, what people call the flee doctrine. Well, I guess you can say Abraham and Lot followed the flee doctrine then. I guess Noah followed the flee doctrine, because he was in the ark at the Most High's command. So, and there's even more instances. Then you see Revelations 12, where if you have the eyes to see, it literally says that the ground is going to open up for the woman, being Israel. So that means we're going to be living off the land. And if you know anything about buying land in America, that's not the way to go. You can ask people who have land in America. You can see what's going on in America. The ground isn't even as fertile out there. Can you talk about that? How fertile the ground is here?
What? You can drop a seed really and it will grow if it's in the right spot, if it's the right seed.
Seriously.
So it's very fertile. They got chicken scratching everywhere. So it's a chicken probably, I want to say, fertilized the ground very well. So the cuckoos is everywhere doing that. So you can really toss it and it will grow. Give it a couple of months.
Then the mountain, don't even talk about fertile up there. Man.
The mountains is very fertile too, because it's like what, like where we brought land is a lot of jackfruit, cassava, and if you know what cassava is like, potato, and potato grows. It's hard to grow as you need some good soil, and it's cassava everywhere, and jackfruit it requires a lot of water also. So, yeah.
Got your coconuts, man.
Coconuts.
Like, you're good. You're not going to starve. There's no possible. That's why when people are like, oh, well, it's going to hit worldwide. It's going to be fine for Africa. That's a fact. If you don't know nothing else, that's a fact. It's going to be absolutely fine.
There's a lot of places in Africa people don't know about.
That they would never find. You would never find it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric Tinsley. Israel for Israel. Blessings. Tenfold to you.
Sante Sana.
But yeah, y'all, the ground is fertile. It's just, man, I could go down the list, but y'all already know what my list is.
What's your list?
My list of reasons to leave America?
Yeah, what's your list?
Well, racism's at the top. let's start there.
I thought she was about to say her mileage. Because the Most High said leave.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yes. And I'm talking about why.
Like,
Y'all know I get fired up on that topic. We ain't going there tonight.
she was going off earlier. I'm telling y'all.
What's I going on
Shit.
about?
I can't be saying stuff, but she's going crazy.
I'm done with you.
No, but it is a time to really get serious and really have a plan. I know we were talking today. Yeah, we were talking today at breakfast, and we was thinking about like where we really came from, what decisions we made before we even was close to moving to Africa, and it was one of the hardest decisions that we had to do. It was I lost my job. We were broke. We were behind on bills.
Yeah.
It was what 2019. This was before Corona. I don't know.
Yeah, a
if I
little
can say
bit
that,
before.
yeah.
That's true. It was.
It was right before Corona, and the Most High was testing us. He was like, yeah, we just about to go to our grandma's house and stay. Like we prayed that night. We was fasting, and we said, are we gonna move to Africa or not? And we was like look, we was broke. We didn't have no money. We were behind on rent. We was behind on bills. We was like, yeah. It was like, all right, I don't know how, but we're going to do it. But the Most High, that was a very tough decision that we had to make. And we was like, okay, we can figure it out. Let's try to go somewhere and stay with somebody, and then we can save money and, do it like that. That was our plan in our head. So we went to that person, and she said no. So we looked at each other, oh, man. She said no. What are we going to do now? But that was the Most High using her to continue to push his plan forward for us, to push his will forward for us. Because if we decide to try to go somewhere else, we probably wouldn't be sitting right here.
And Most High knows that. He was like, no, I can't let them get comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, and our story is extreme when you talk about uncomfortability. Like, somebody almost died in your arms 2 months before we left. Like, all the signs.
It was a lot. It was too much. Most times, like, get out, go. So if you experiencing any signs like that, just
doors closing. That's the Most High telling you.
Like he's warning a lot of people. Yeah, you just gotta go.
If it seems like your back is against the wall, you're like, how am I even going to be able to do this? Once you make the right decision.
Just make the hardest decision.
Yeah.
That's it. Look, just make the hardest decision and do it in the Most High, because he wants you to step out on faith.
Yeah.
And he's gonna take care of you no matter what. Like we've been here almost 3 years, and he's been taking care of us like more than what we can imagine.
Exceedingly beyond all that we could ask for. Book of Ephesians, like literally.
Really. So that's all because we stepped out on faith, and we just really trusted him in everything that we do. Just everything, really, everything. So that's my encouraging word. Step out on faith, like seriously.
Just do it.
Like,
just do it.
How do you know that you have faith if you don't test it?
Right.
So,
that's true.
You just gotta really look. That's what the Most High want from us in these last days, is to trust him. If you know his name, praise his name, seek his face.
Yeah.
Just be obedient.
And it's written everywhere throughout the Bible. Leave Babylon. Escape Babylon. Babylon is falling. Jeremiah 31. It's everywhere. This isn't like a new thing. This is what our people did. Yahushua, when he was here, who some called Jesus Christ, Yahushua said, let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. He didn't say stay in Jerusalem. The Romans are coming and they're going to set fire to anything. But just stay here and boom. They were fleeing. They were using the flee doctrine then, I guess. But it was the Most High's command right out of Yahushua's mouth. And the people that would have had to stay in that city, to stay in Jerusalem when it was being lit on fire, can y'all imagine that? Like, can you really picture that? The place where the temple is, the place where you saw the Messiah doing these works, and to just watch it catch on fire? He said, no, you gotta flee to the mountains. You gotta go. You can't stay. Because you're gonna burn right along with Babylon. It's not like, and of course your salvation isn't dependent on, you dying, or at least I hope it's not, that's up to the Most High, but you gotta leave if he says leave. It's like Lot's wife. She didn't want to leave. She looked back on Babylon. Sodom, Gomorrah. She looked back on it. And there was something that caught her eye, and she was like, nope, I gotta go back. But Lot and Abraham, Lot wasn't even fazed by that, which is crazy. That's his wife. He was like, no, I gotta go. Most High told me I gotta go. It's a crazy example, though. Like, that's an extreme example. But that's one of the first examples we have in Genesis. Noah would be the first. Because they were looking at him crazy. All those half-giant men, they was like, why is this man building this boat? He's been building this boat for years, man. He's been building this boat. How long did it take Noah to build the ark? Does anyone know? It was like 30, 40 years, something. He's just building this boat, building away. And guess what? He saved his family. He saved his lineage at the Most High's command. And everybody else, once that door was shut, you see how it says in the Bible, the Most High told him to save room for his children and their wives and the animals, right? That was it. Once the door was closed, it wasn't like the giants were coming like, oh, just let me slip in real quick. Like, you gotta prepare. You can't. That doesn't work. You don't see anywhere in the Bible where people weren't preparing and that it came out okay. You just don't see it. Even with our culture and our practices, when you prepare for feast days, even to practice the feast days, you have to know when they're coming and you have to prepare. So preparation isn't a new thing for us, but being that we lost our culture and heritage, and that the Babylonian system, America's system, Western society, whatever you call it, has gotten us so dependent on them and the government that we are just willing to, stay there? Or just, I don't know. We depend on the government more than the Most High if we're honest with ourselves.
That's a big no-no.
Yeah, huge no-no. Because they're going to let you down every time. Just like Biden talking about...
Yeah, that's
he said everything's okay.
Talk about your friend Biden.
Look, y'all's friend.
Your friend.
That ain't my friend.
You said she was just talking about that's her best friend.
All right, me and Biden are friends, but we ain't friends like that. I like to look at his memes when he acting all wild. If that's what friends are for, then okay. Man, it's not even loading, but basically, oh yes, here it is. Biden is reassuring America after the government intervenes in SVB collapse. So they're just printing money. They're like dollars falling from the sky, like everything's good. Meanwhile, those people going under the bunkers, they're definitely leaving America. That's a fact, because we see the folks over here in Tanzania. If you think that white folks and all these other nations are staying in America to watch the collapse, they're not doing that. They're not doing it.
And it's like older folks too. You see, it's like, wow, they're kind of old. They're at least 45, 50.
Yeah.
Over here. I'm just like, oh.
Government
man.
people. Yeah. So if you think that, I don't know. I don't know how people want to stay there. Because what happens is when you try to prepare in Babylon, you have, and this is, or at least from my perspective, what I've been shown in my life when we were thinking of like preparing in America and looking into that, man, do you know how hard it is to prepare in America just from the financial standpoint to pack up and buy extra food? And this was back in 2019. This wasn't during inflation that y'all have to deal with now, that we all have to deal with, because there's slight inflation in Tanzania, but it's very minimal. But not only that, so then you gotta get water, then you have to get seeds, then the ground you're tilling is harder to till because it's American soil, and then in some countries or some states in America you can't catch rainwater because it's illegal. Oh, and then you didn't add in them racist white folks that are around you that are gonna come steal your stuff. Because that's what that's what they're gonna do. And if y'all don't believe, look, I lived around white people for a long, long time. And if y'all think for 1 minute that you're prepping and they don't know where you are and that they won't, child. So in my mind, this is why I was like, no, I can't stay here. No, that ain't gonna work. And then Alex Jones, he was talking about, well, I'll never forget that video. He was like, when if the dollar crashes, then I'll just eat my neighbor. I'm like, you don't take no time to plant food, but you want to eat your neighbor. You don't have any farmers in your network that you can talk to, but you want to eat your neighbor. I guess he is used to that, because why would that be the first thing that comes to mind? I was like, oh no, this ain't safe like this. I'm not trying to, I got kids. I'm not trying to just, go out like that. Like, that's wild. What do you think?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. We just gotta be prepared. Be prepared. So, and do it. Just act. You gotta keep that motion going. Trust in the Most High. Just keep it going.
Yeah. Because it would really, really, I know it would really suck if you, open your banking app one day and you're like, man, I should have got my plane tickets and just left. Like, man, the thing crashed. Like, that's crazy. And 20 other banks are actively crashing right now that they're not telling you all about. But I'll link that video in the description box at the end. 20 other banks, one of them being Fifth Third Bank, which is like a big bank in Ohio. It's pretty big, right? It's like Chase and Bank of America. So if you think for 1 minute that the domino effect is going to skip, that's not going to happen. But I think something a lot of people are scared of when it comes to moving to Africa. Let me know what you think. I think a lot of people assume, oh, well, the crash is happening worldwide, so in Africa it's going to be exactly the same. What would you say to that?
It's going to be different. That's why, if you haven't been to Africa, if you haven't experienced the culture here, if you haven't experienced the people here, it's going to be harder. Like, if you're really trying to, escape at the last second, you're not going to be used to Africa in general. Like, Africa is Africa. So you can watch all the videos, you can listen to whoever, but if you're really not here on the ground, experience it day to day and seeing how stuff works, it's just like the States. It's just like if you in the States and you starting to figure out how, just I guess I could say like the street works. Just common sense kind of. It's different. Africa's different, but it's definitely not gonna crash because pretty much here it's a lot of peso. It's a lot of hand-to-hand transaction. No like banks or no swiping. It's only like big stores that can afford the machine to swipe. But mostly it's just cash. So I know the cash will be cycling for a while.
Enough for people to get prepared. And then in Africa, the cool thing about Africa,
it's the value too.
That a lot of continental Africans, this is the benefit that they have when everything crashes worldwide. Y'all, they have villages. They call their mom, their grandpa, their grandma, and they're like, hey, I need to come back to the village because everything just crashed. They're going back to the village. They're going to be on some land. They're going to be with their community of people that know how to survive off the land, where to find water, or where to find cattle. They already have a built-in community. Already, just by being inside of the African culture. So they have it much easier than people in America and people in the West. What do you think about that?
Yeah, and it, I was just about to say something. Oh, the value here. So if somebody got some tomatoes, they can trade it for some rice.
Yeah.
So like really,
Seriously.
it's really like that. Even if like, hey, I got you tomorrow. You know, that's okay. I mean, I don't want to say I did it plenty of times, but sometimes I do it. If just say if I got a big bill and he don't got change, I say, all right, I'll pay you back tomorrow. Whenever I get change, I come and pay you, you know, a little extra. So it's like that. People are nice here. They're willing to um, sacrifice like a day to help you trade.
It's really a community, and this is, because when back in America, all that programming, like they would have commercials of like um, army tanks and like just war zones going on in Africa. But the reason they did all that is for y'all to believe that it's not safe here. That Tanzania, for a fact, is one of the safest countries in Africa, which is why we picked Tanzania, and one of the most stable as well. So if you think people are gonna, that's the exact opposite of what's gonna happen. Unless you're in Dar, it could possibly happen in Dar because it's a big city. But once you find some other places,
it can happen anywhere though. So you just gotta know your surroundings.
not on the scale like America though, like
Yeah,
Columbus.
no.
Not none like America. And that crime is wild over there. Obviously, you still have to use safety precautions, but it won't happen on that level. Like, it won't be your whole. Instead, people come together here, people form communities here. They just help each other like crazy. And it's something that's a culture all over Africa. I'm not sure. I think Northern Africa is like that. I don't know. But I know Sub-Saharan Africa is like that. But yeah, so if it's possible, and it's probably possible for a lot more of you than you believe, because we left the U.S. with $6,000. So if you're like, I need 20,000, I need 50,000, but I have children. We had 3 children when we left.
How many do we have now?
We got 5 now. But yeah, so if you think it's not possible, pray to the Most High and start looking at what He's already blessed you with, because I believe that He's blessed you with stuff that you're not seeing. Whether it's talents, whether it's gifts, whether it's money that you're not seeing, resources you're not seeing, that you're not understanding. It could be people at the job, whatever you're not seeing. And then if you're really in a spot where you're like, I got $10 in my account, how am I going to leave to go to Africa? Y'all need to get in this comment section and get in touch with other people that are going to the country you want to be in. Whether it's Ghana, whether it's Tanzania, whether it's Nigeria. I wouldn't necessarily suggest going to somewhere with an unstable economy, but you make your choice. Whatever country you want to go to. If it's Zambia, there's people down in Zambia. Where else? Zimbabwe. There's a lot of options. There's 54 different countries. Start looking at the visa-free ones. Start looking at the ones where you can stay the longest. Namibia currently has a digital nomad visa that's valid for 6 months. Start looking. And you have to be real strategic, because the times we're in, you just don't have time to play around. Like when you get to Africa, yes, Ethiopia for sure. When you get to Africa, y'all really, what you need to do, you probably need to not stay inside the city for more than a month or so that you can start looking for land and start looking at villages and start looking at communities that you can contribute to. Because when you contribute to their community, then they're going to let you in. And then letting you in is worth way more than you contributing, because they have survival skills that you don't have. Like, how many of us know how to start a fire? Oh, you better believe all the villagers know how to start a fire. You better believe it. How many of us know how to milk a cow? The villagers, or at least the village that we go to, how many cows they have up there in that village? You ain't gonna run out of milk. They got about 20 cows. And they're fat. Like, these mountain cows are fat. I'm just saying. For real, because cattle represents wealth, and I'm like, hallelujah, like, I'm good. I got my milk. They got goats, like, gotta look out. But as you're looking, also be aware of the custom and two tribes. I would pay attention to customs very closely. That's what I would do. But Tanzania is one of those countries that has like the four different tribes of Africa. I think most countries in Africa mostly only have, is it Bantu and, it's Bantu and another, Bantu and Pygmy, I think. But Tanzania has all four of them: Bantu, Pygmy, Nilotic, and Cushitic. And so pay attention to the customs. Do pay attention to that. But other than that, what else on land tips? Probably try to find, and this is another thing, if you can find people in the States that are of the same mind as you. Because when we left, when we thought we were going to Ghana, we were going to move in with another family and split the cost of rent for like a 6-bedroom house. So, and split rent like that, if, you know, however big your family is, or, you know, whatever, and you may have to bunk those kids up because you got to save money so you can buy your land. That's fine. Because houses in Africa are bigger than houses in America. So a 3-bedroom in a place like Tanzania, 3 bedrooms are nice. Tall ceilings, spacious bedrooms. Then a lot of times they'll have a compound out there, so you'll have the main house with the 3 bedrooms, and you might have a little tiny house with 2 bedrooms. At this point, if you don't have the resources, you need to find a partner. So y'all can, just like in marriage, when you kind of balance each other, and you, when one's strong, one's weak, and when one's weak, one's strong, whatever, then you're able to help each other. It's the same thing. When you don't have the resources right now or the network right now to be able to get out, find someone that... Our cabin?
It's pretty nice. Pretty.
We'll give folks some time to come back in.
Yeah, like I say, this is Africa. You gotta get used to it sometimes.
Yeah, you just gotta let it be. It's all right if you got food and you can survive. It's all right to have slow internet. It'll be all right. But that's what I was gonna say with the electricity, because we were talking about the solar panels. What I was saying was that the electricity is obviously way cheaper in America. It costs anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000. Yes, dollars. Not factoring in inflation, to actually set up a full solar system for your house.
And you probably gotta use more electricity too.
Oh yeah.
Like here, what we put $50 here, I mean, we could probably do it for a while.
What's our monthly electric bill for a family of?
Maybe $100.
$100?
Yeah, but we just be, you see the fan.
Yeah.
It just be running. So.
And the 2 refrigerators. That's true.
Yeah, we got 2 refrigerators.
But in that cabin, it's gonna be scaled down, child. It's gonna be like.
Yeah. It's gonna be so bright.
Yeah. It's gonna have an open floor plan. But yeah, if y'all still like, I don't know if I should leave. Maybe I need another sign. I don't know what sign you're gonna be waiting for, because the sign that your bank account closed, like that, I don't know how you get out of that one. You would really just have to just ask the Most High to just, because don't go down Mexico. Y'all see, don't go down to Mexico. I don't know what was happening with them 4 people that went down there. 2 made it, 2 died or was killed with the cartel, and the cartel issued an apology letter. I was like, that's so fake. You know cartel gonna issue no apology letter. Like, I don't know what's going on with that. You know you don't want to go down there though. If you think for 1 second that Mexico is a safe place to be in chaos, oh, all them people gonna turn on each other.
Wasn't it like the border in Mexico?
And the cartel would be running stuff for sure. So Mexico's not an option.
Yeah, just make that hard choice. That's basically what it is. Like, we got to make these hard choices in the last days.
Yeah, that's true.
For the Most High,
That's true.
He'll work everything out. He'll work everything out. Just be obedient. Trust me in Him. Keep it going. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You want to talk about that more? Because I'm going to add the link
Yeah.
for the course code. Because if I talk to it at the same time,
So yeah,
it's some crazy
guys,
stuff.
we open our consultations up
Open for that.
to help whoever wants to come over. You know, really get that that real talk. I don't be when people talk to me
He
with
does
the
the
video,
consultations.
they tell you the truth. I don't try to beat around the bush or nothing. Yeah.
And
exactly,
they thank you
Mr.
for
Sky.
it. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to do. I was going to read one of the testimonials from the Dream Life course because I guess whatever you were saying, I was asleep. Whatever you were saying in the last monthly meeting really helped people.
But yeah, Mr. Sky said it's not easy, but it gets better each day. And that's what it is. It really is. So you just gotta, you know, you wake up every day, say, hey, Yahuwah, thank you for waking me up. And keep going. Because he made the day. He made you wake up. And you just gotta make the best of it. Even just make those hard decisions. Even waking up sometimes be hard, right? You be like, man, I want to go back to sleep. But no. Gotta
But
get up.
relative to life in the U.S., it's a cakewalk easily.
See.
I'm sorry, I'm anti-U.S. I'm anti-West. I'm anti-Babylon. Because man, it's just a struggle. Like, and then now y'all are with the inflation. Oh no, child, no. Then your blood pressure all high, and you just no. You gotta be healthy and have peace of mind. There ain't no peace of mind over there working for those crazy folks. Even when you work from home, I'm like, man, I'm still around crazy people in this neighborhood. I gotta get out of here.
Oh, yeah. That might be good. Maybe y'all can come together and buy a boat. Or
Yeah,
a
y'all
yacht,
seriously might want to do that for real. Seriously, y'all better.
or whoever. Look,
Seriously,
be
whoever,
in
you
the
know.
sea is traveling. You can go to Japan. They got new islands. I heard. They
Don't
discovered
go to
new
Japan.
islands.
You're gonna be over there with those robots. No, don't do that.
You can go
Here's the list of places I think y'all should go.
Africa.
Africa, and a country in Africa. These are the options, and really, even to get more specific than that, I would go to sub-Saharan Africa. I wouldn't go, and this is something I didn't know before moving here. I didn't realize that Northern Africa is like void of actual black people. And so when I realized that, I was like, oh, this is interesting. That's crazy. That's what my thought process was when I realized that it's mostly Arabs and whited out folks. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna be going up there. And there's a whole desert separating North and Sub-Saharan Africa, and it's crazy because if you look on the map, and you're looking on a map that has like that shows, you know how a map will show mountain ranges, green areas, deserts, stuff like that. Sub-Saharan Africa has all the green areas and mountain ranges. So that's food for thought. But it's good to be in a warm weather climate. There's just the benefits of Africa are unlimited in my mind. I think the only con would be that I can't go anywhere I want with my passport. That's my only con. Like, I feel like I should be able to travel to all 54 countries. The internet, you know, you can work with that. Food's delicious. Healthcare is cheap as ever. Like, literally.
Yeah, everything's cheaper here. Everything's cheaper here.
And man, when we look, I'm telling you, everything happened for us when we moved to Africa, no lie. And people would be like, man, they be gassing Africa up. But this is real life. We had our first home birth here, like with nobody there, because the midwife broke her ankle, and now we're about to do another home birth. But it's just like the Most High, and He blesses and provides provision. You just work with it, and you're like, thank you, Father. All you gotta have is mustard seed faith. That's it. That's all He asks. That's it. If you have that, then you got everything you need. And I was a high risk pregnancy, so they were like, they was like, you're supposed to be on bed rest, don't get out of bed, definitely don't do a home birth. Look, whenever somebody tells us we can't do something, we're gonna do the exact opposite because our father said to do it, and that's that. Had that home birth, our baby came out in one push. And that's why I prayed for. I was like, you know, some of those prayers, they just be miracle prayers. You be like, oh, I hope she just comes out in one push because I don't want to be in pain. But it really happened. So now my prayer, y'all, is a 1 hour labor. I'm serious. Hallelujah. I accept that into my life. You laugh at it. But yeah, what else happened when we moved to Africa? Obviously, this channel, Journey With Us, getting in touch with you all and being able to, because that was really our mission coming out. When we started this YouTube channel, I was like, I just know that Africa has everything I need. I know it. And I'm going to show my people, because we're not about to be sitting here in this captivity with these folks. This is wild when we don't have to. And it really does. The houses, look, the houses they got online, you go see it in person, you're like, oh, this is great. That's what we did. Our greenhouse, from that video that a lot of you guys saw, we looked at that house while we were still in America.
Yeah.
We looked at that house while we were still in America.
And Jeremiah, our oldest son, he was like, oh, I'm going to jump off the balcony to the steps here. And then when we moved in, we was like, dang, he said this was a house we was going to move into. And we
You
did.
prophesying too.
We did.
Seriously. So there's really nothing to lose, everything to gain. When you run into problems, I think the problem, and I could be, this is my perspective, but I think a lot of the problems people face when returning to Africa are absolutely superficial. Compared to the grand scheme of things of what's going on in the world, absolutely superficial, absolutely. Compared to the inflation, the racism, because all of us know what that stuff is like. And for us to just see a land like this, see a promise like this, and just turn it away. Now, if you want to switch countries, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, go from Zambia to Tanzania, or, you know, Tanzania to Kenya, you know, wherever you want to go, that's fine. But just to see this beauty here and turn it away, I just don't understand. That's my perspective, though. We're in Tanga, Tanzania. We've been in Tanzania for 3 years. Well, it'll be 3 years in August. Been up and down the Swahili coast in Tanzania. Been looking for land in different places, but the place that is appointed and called to you, you'll know it. Because doors will just start flying open. You'll get supernatural favor where you're just like, oh, okay. Do you guys have any questions for us? Any questions? Yes, we're expecting again. Baby number 5. I'm 5 months pregnant, guys. I'm having a home birth because, you know, if I'm not going to... This is what the Most High told me when I got pregnant with Gianna. He was like, don't take an epidural. Stop taking epidurals. Because with every other child, I took epidurals. And so he was like, no, you're going to do it natural. And for me, that was like, natural? I'm used to going into the doctor and going to the hospital when I'm ready to get an epidural. When I don't want to feel the pain. But he was like, no, you're going to do it natural. And so then obviously we had the high-risk pregnancy and my water broke early. And so I was like, man, how am I going to do it now? But he was like, no, you're going to do it natural. You just got to trust the promise to the very end. Yeah. It's the same exact thing. Trust the promise. Because he'll provide a way, but he's going to test you to see if you really have faith. Because there's so many chances where you can walk away and just turn your whole blessing away. And that happens to most people, right? Because 2/3 of our people aren't going to make it. That happens to the majority. land goes back to their homeland. Yeah, so some of these folks that are here, they about to leave because I told you on the last video, a lot of these nations, Italy, Britain, Japan, China, their populations are decreasing like crazy. So if you think you got a problem with living in Africa with foreigners being here, oh, just wait a little bit. They're about to be gone. Don't worry. Most High already got that taken care of. They're about to be totally gone. Oh, we have 4 babies. That's one of the things we love about your channel. That's awesome. Children are an inheritance from the Most High. Your birth video had me. Man, it had me too. Look, that last few minutes or whatever, hour, you think you about to die. But you won't die. You'll be alright if you just hang in there. Is buying land in Kenya a good idea? Yes. I've been seeing a lot of Kenyans on YouTube that are doing their homesteads because, you know, we're into homesteading now and like building and all these things. And the Kenyans on it too. They look, everybody across Africa is on it, I'm telling y'all. Because now I would stay out of Nairobi for sure. I would stay out of those huge cities. Maybe try the outskirts of Mombasa. Or, you know, Kenya's big. You got areas towards Ethiopia that I don't really know about. So, you know, explore and travel while you can to figure out where the Most High wants you. And don't just give up after looking at 2 pieces of land. Please don't do that. Please, seriously, y'all. Don't give up after 2 tries of doing something. We were looking for land for over a year before we found the right one.
We bought land.
You're right. We bought the land that wasn't right, and then we was like, okay, so that's looking for land for over a year. Yeah, I had to let the Most High speak through me. We are going in a few weeks. Oh, that's good. You can email us if you have questions or to connect. We're near the border of Kenya. My brother and my mom are actually in Kenya right now. And that's another thing, y'all. You don't know who's going to be blessed by you taking the move to Africa. Like, you might change your entire legacy and trajectory. Well, obviously you will, but in ways that you're not aware of. Because I didn't know that my mom and brother would be coming to Africa that soon. Now my brother be all up and down Africa, visiting all these countries and stuff. Look, he's been more places than me in Africa. Oh, you also had high-risk pregnancies. Yes, the Most High gave you a promise and you believed. Hallelujah. Wow. Look, he's a deliverer for sure. What I get the most joy out of is African countries standing up to colonizers. Me too. That's like, I live for that. I'm like, yes. Yes, we just started doing consultations again. I'll drop the link in the comments. I forgot to drop that link. We just started doing them again. It had been over a year, but we recognized the time, so that is critical. So we can help you or help give you advice on building and buying land, business, networking, marketing stuff in Africa, then like the practical stuff, banking and all of that stuff. Any other questions? Ask all your questions. Where's the link I'm looking for?
You already dropped it?
Yeah, that was to the course. Let me just go on to other YouTube videos. Any other questions, comments? What y'all think about all these banks collapsing? Yeah, that's a good question. Everybody leave a comment in the chat. Let us know. Do you think the bank collapsed? The first 3, because there's 3, probably 4 by now, but the first 3 that have collapsed in the first 2 weeks of March. We're not even in week 3. We're in the first 2 weeks of March. Do you think this is the domino that's going to crash the entire system? Let us know while I look for this link.
I never answered. What's the question?
Is land expensive? Not in Tanzania if you go on the outskirts. Not at all. Not at all. And then also keep in mind, don't be trying to because a lot of people do this when you get here because there's so much opportunity, and I understand that you're just like, man, I'm gonna come over here. Let's go ahead and get 90 acres of land, and then we'll ask questions later. Don't do that. Don't mess yourself up like that. If you've never owned land, you've never started a garden, you've never dug a well, you've never had cattle on your land, you've never done anything, you're waiting for trouble, for sure. Don't be greedy, because in Africa they don't like that either. Like Tanzania, for example, if you have land, let's say you buy 120 acres of land, and then you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna just let my land sit there for a few years. No, if villagers come over to that land and start planting and building stuff, by Tanzanian standards and stuff, they be letting them go ahead and do it, because if they're like, you're not doing anything with the land, but somebody else is in need, why are you just sitting on stuff? So be aware of that when you buy land in Africa. Don't just overdo it, because you're gonna realize quickly that you're not prepared, unless you're somebody that already has 10 acres in the States and you already have your game plan and you got your people, with you and whatever you're doing. That's fine. But if you've never done it before, if you've never herded cows and goats and all this stuff, you don't even need to be the person to buy all the cows and goats.
I mean, only if the Most High tell you to. Just do it.
And you better make sure it's him.
I don't, yeah.
Seriously. It's no
I don't want to
joke.
say don't get like a whole bunch of acres, but the Most High tell you to come over here and farm. That is a good thing to come do.
Oh yeah,
Like
for a business, for sure.
Whatever you need to do. If you need to grow vegetables, learn how to take care of cows, goats, chickens. That's
Not all
okay,
at once, though.
because I mean you got people here. People will help you, and that's their culture here. So you will find somebody that's an expert in that field.
Yeah, if you're hiring them.
Yeah.
But go slow. The Most High, this is the scriptures. He says, do not consider the cost, and now I'm paraphrasing, but do not consider the cost before you go to build something or before you go to do a business venture. You have to consider the cost, and you have to start small. That way, if you have some work up front and you're already making progress, then it's like, okay, now I can dig into this a little more. Now I can scale up. The same thing in business. You don't, start a business and take out a business loan of $100K if you've never even seen $5,000 in your account at one time. Start small and expand from there. Make sure you got the right, because you're going to mess up because you're new at doing it. But mess ups are okay. Just don't make mess ups to the point where it's difficult to get out of and that you're in so much debt that you don't know what to do and you're wasting money. Because this is not the time to waste money, as we can all see. Let me drop this link. But it's easy to get in that mindset. You be like, man, I'm about to do everything. Start with one thing at a time. Dang, that's not
But
very
yeah,
good.
guys, we about to
You're not going to talk to me?
head off here. So if you guys got any more questions.
It's not working. I have to pull it back up. I just need 1 acre. Yeah, that's the smart way to go. Because if you have a network of people that have, if you're near a village that has cows, farmers, they have stuff already, and you just become part of the community, you're automatically saving a lot of money like that and time. I don't know why this isn't. Well, I guess I'll just have to, because that's not working. I can't copy and paste it. I have to do that later then.
For what?
The link, babe, to the consultation.
Just do it in the description.
Or try it on your phone. I can't do it on mine. It's not it actually it is complicated to buy land. Farmland business wise might be more efficient and easy depending on the area, because I hear so many different stories. For our land, it wasn't hard and it was straightforward. Um, but I mean, it's not always like that. Africa and Tanzania, Africa, it's just kind of like that. You don't always know what you're getting. You want farmland, that's good. Definitely go through a lawyer though. Look up the lands commission, talk to the local government, the neighbor, talk to everybody you need to talk to. That'll make the process a lot easier. Then you should be able to get all the paperwork through. An existing registered business, if you registered in Tanzania, but you need to have a local that's on the business, because you can't own land in Tanzania without having a local that has more shares. Any other questions? Will yours load? Can I send this link to you? I'll just have to do it after that. But yeah, y'all, don't believe Biden. The banking system isn't safe. If you believe that everything's safe right now, just look back on 2019, 2020, and 2021, where they was like, oh, we're going to come out with the jab and everything's going to be fine. And now people dropping like flies. Just dropping. Just falling down. Can you, as a citizen, register a business and wholly own it? Yes, but you won't be able to buy land. They make the land laws difficult here. Right. They make the land laws difficult like that because they don't want people colonizing and being all crazy again. They're trying to protect stuff, which is understandable. That's understandable. But yeah, don't believe Biden. Move to Africa if the Most High tells you to, and that's what your faith is leading you to do. Do that. Because move to Africa has been the best decision we've made in our life. Honestly. Has move to Africa been one of the best decisions you made in life? Tanzania?
Yeah.
You going back to America?
No, it's marrying you, baby.
Oh, thank you. But I said, is it one of the best decisions? No. No. Well, I don't know.
Of course.
But it is. And y'all, you're going to have to make decisions that are difficult. Your family won't get it. Look, we had all types of people telling us we were crazy. But us being in the truth, guys, we're used to this. Like, your family probably already thinks you're crazy, so it's okay. They'll get over it. And they'll probably actually come and be asking you how to get over it too, to be honest. Do you leave the country? No, we haven't left the country in a year. You only have to leave the country every 90 days if you're on a tourist visa. Once you switch visas, you don't have to do that. There's plenty of options. There's so many strategies. This is why we do the one-to-one consultations, because what's right for one person may not be right for everybody. There's even like an artist visa that people do. You have to strategize your move individually. And it's really based on what your talents are, honestly. That's going to play a major, major role, because it's 1,000 times easier. And we had a lawyer tell us this in the very beginning when we left, or when we came. You remember Adronicus, the military lawyer? He told us early on, it's easier to do what you've already been doing in America than to go to a new country and jump up and say, I'm going to start something new. First
That's
of all,
just farming.
50, right, and you better start doing it slow and not invest a lot of money on something you don't know. 50% of businesses fail. So what you don't want to do is get into an industry that you have no experience in. Like, for example, what I wouldn't do, if I'm in marketing, but if I come, let's say I came to Tanzania in 2020, and I was like, you know what, I think I'm just going to build an entire hospital. If I don't have background in medical administration, that's probably not going to go well, and you don't want to just throw money down the drain. So instead, what you want to do, you want to use the talents you've already cultivated in America and then transfer those skills to Africa. And then I would take it a step further to diversify your money. Put your money into some land and real estate. Then if you want to go get into other industries, you can do it like that, but stabilize your income first. Don't hop off that plane like, all right, I'm going to leave therapy, I'm going to stop doing therapy, and now I'm going to open up a digital marketing agency. If you've never had a background in marketing, never did anything in marketing, but you're like, I'm going to just hire all the people that know marketing, then you find out in Tanzania they don't really know how to do marketing. That's not going to work well.
Good.
I would love to do one-to-one. Still waiting for the info. I'm sorry, it's like not letting me drop it.
We'll drop it in the description.
We'll drop it in the description.
Yeah.
I don't know why it won't let me just paste it. It's like retarded. I don't know. Yeah, that's crazy. Because I'm on our YouTube. Yes, if you have the link, you can drop it in the chat. Thank you. Stuff is not working right now. How can you switch visas? Hire a lawyer, definitely. I wouldn't do it myself. Now, people have done it themselves. I personally, mentally, I don't have the stamina to be going through all that. Hire a reputable lawyer that can help you get your visa switched. So you can come on the tourist visa, but try not to stay on it for too long. They really want people that are going to be doing stuff in the country, whether that's missionary work, investors work, visa work, artist work, whatever work you're going to be doing, do that work. No. Because that's what they want you to do.
This is not the schedule?
No, that's to the main homepage. It's going to take them to make their own schedule. I have it on the other YouTube videos. Really just keep your common sense. I know we come here and we're just like, man, we can do anything. And we felt like that too. We was like, look, we could do any and everything. Just use common sense. Salama, stepping stones to home. Use common sense the same way you would in the States. If you're in an area and you're like, this area probably doesn't look too safe, then don't live there. Use common sense. America has one more year, then all hell will break loose. 2024 Fiat trumpets, and it's over in my opinion. I agree, because I'm like, once the banks have this domino effect, which is already in motion, here's what I believe is going to happen. Once the domino effect of the dollar collapsing is already in motion, then obviously nobody can take money out. Because they're going to be telling you got $0, or it's going to come up and say network disconnected, whatever it's going to say, whatever the message is. And so then you're like, okay. So now, people trying to get out the city, right? They're going to whoever in their family has land. A lot of folks have family that owns land, or they know a friend who owns land, so they're going to be trying to go there. So while you're getting out the city, guess who's going to be there helping you to maneuver your way? FEMA and military. It's just, it can get bad so quickly in the States that it's just one of those things that it's best to just not even play with. And we've already seen during the pandemic that if stuff moves quickly right before your eyes. Right before your eyes, people are dropping dead from jab. But I think this would be worse than the pandemic, because once you have that type of tension In somewhere like America, the violence is going to be off the chain. Forget war, just the people inside of America will have the violence off the chain. Then you could be in the middle of nowhere in your land in, Kansas. Then you realize, oh, some KKK members just drove up to the house. Like, that's the reality in America, like, for real. So it's best to just, if you have the faith, the means, and that's something you want to do it.
Let's do it. Just make the hardest choice, and you'll be okay.
It'll be the best choice of your life. I guess we having link dropping issues with YouTube. They don't want me to have no more links.
Well, it's hard
Us.
to do on internet.
No, somebody said they tried too. Can you elaborate on volunteer visa? A little confusing. The volunteer visa has like two parts to it. So
Not really.
you be disagreeing with everything I
I'm
say.
saying
Can I speak?
You been speaking, go ahead.
Do you want to explain?
Not really. No confrontation.
They said the volunteer visa. The volunteer visa has a few different ways to obtain it. It's not just open an NGO or anything like that. You can also get the volunteer visa through a school. You can get the volunteer visa through an existing Tanzanian NGO or through any organization that is able to permit you to have a volunteer visa. We know people that have got their residence through volunteering at a school. So there's multiple options with that. The key is that you need to be here to figure out how, actually no, it would be smarter if you had someone on the ground that could help you find that school or NGO that's going to offer the permit, because on the application you are not supposed to be in the country to get it, according to the Tanzania immigration website.
You might as well start an NGO in the States and register it, and just start a church in the States. Start an Israel church and bring it over here.
I probably wouldn't name it that because, CIA love that, but hey, they'd be all over. Oh, man. I'd probably name it Children of the Light or something.
This.
There you go. See, they would like that. They're like, this. That makes sense. That's a great school.
You said church. That's cool.
I mean, church. Oh, man. But yeah, there's a lot of different options. The student visa, there's a lot of different options. It's just really about knowing an organization on the ground that can help you process it. Now, what you could do, since you would technically be on a tourist visa, is leave to somewhere like Kenya, go visit Ethiopia, process the application outside of Tanzania, then get approved, and then come back in and have the residency. That could work.
Oh, you gotta know the right people for that.
You do. You just gotta do it and try it, How is Ethiopia? I imagine that it's blessed and plentiful. I know their food is delicious. I know that. But I know they're having some issues with the Ethiopian church, because some of the church, and I don't know all the background story, but some of the church people were shooting other church people because they weren't actual believers. So there's a group of terrorist type people that were shooting the Christians or the believers. So, but we know people in Ethiopia and they love it. So I guess it just depends on what area you're in. But on the scale of safety, of safe African countries, Ethiopia wouldn't be high on that list. But I definitely want to visit there. And I would love to live there one day. But it's not the most stable or safe place at the moment. Yeah, y'all know that. Y'all gotta look. Subscribe to the Africa report so y'all know what's going on in Africa. Look at all the Africa news headlines to understand what's going on. Nigeria and Ghana, their economy, their dollars are crashing, their CDs in Naira. Because, again, I'm not an economist, so I don't understand fully why it's crashing so quickly. But the inflation hit them so bad that it's just their money is worth very, very little. So, but hey, when the whole system crashes, I guess everybody's money gonna be worth little. So it's really about safety. And then if you could have your African citizenship and get your passport, like if you're from Sierra Leone and you know you're from there, or you're from, where's some other ones that offer citizenship? Ghana, Gabon, Cameroon. If you're from places like that and they are offering you citizenship, you better just go on ahead over there and get it. Because an African passport is going to make your life a lot easier because you're going to be able to travel across Africa very easily. And you won't have to deal with immigration. Because they have dollar reserves, that's the problem I am having in Kenya. Oh, you're in Kenya. Oh, so tell us more about that, because I heard that Kenya, they can't take out US dollar.
They're losing the US.
They're losing US dollar. I don't know what effect that has like on everyday people. Tell us about that. And so they asked Tanzania if they could borrow some, and Tanzania was like, no, we won't have enough if we give you some. So definitely, it's going to impact everywhere, but the solution is just to stay in the Most High's laws, because in Revelations 12, he said the land will open up. And if you're going off of that, then you can't fail, because the land's going to open up one way or another. At the place where it's supposed to open up for you. You just need to figure out what place you're supposed to be at for it to open up for you. That's what you need to figure out. But yeah, let us know about Kenya. That's interesting. Any other questions, fam, before we get off, y'all? Because I'm getting sleepy. Inflation is crazy, but you can get dollars out, but it's hard. Huh. But you don't have a problem getting shilling out? Like, is it literal USD that you can't take out, or you can still get Kenyan shillings out? Because really, people only need USD if they're like, what is it renewing a passport? What is it that you need USD for?
You don't even need it, really.
You don't need it all like that. Somebody said Ethiopia is safe. That's good to hear, because it's such a beautiful country, and it's a big country too. So I'm sure there's some safe pockets. I take out USD, and I'm in Kenya 3 months out the year. I'm in China the rest of the time. Oh, interesting. Huh. Dollar reserves. But yeah, guys, have faith. Everybody don't take your money all out once, because y'all gonna collapse the banks quicker. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just calm. Buy your plane ticket. Calm a little bit more. Move stuff over. And it'll be okay. Yes, sis, Ethiopia is going through a reset with some bumps in the road, but the Most High is moving there in a big way. He definitely is. I definitely believe that Ethiopia has the possibility of being the actual promised land, for sure, which is obviously why the warfare is so big. So I moved USD to Chinese banks in Shanghai. That's interesting. Very interesting. Can you answer my question about safe banks? Yes, ABSA. ABSA is a good bank. CRDB is a good bank. Diamond Trust Bank. Just look up Tanzanian banks and see like the top ones. I tend to go with we tend to go at the top, don't be trying to get in a little bank that just popped up, Don't do that. Go with the top ones. I know in America that's not always the best option, but here in Africa, go with the top ones. I'll say the names again. ABSA, CRDB, Diamond Trust Bank. Those are all safe. But agriculture is best in Ethiopia and Tanzania. More so than Kenya. Why do you say more so than Kenya? I know Ethiopia leads Africa in having the biggest amount of cattle. So that's interesting. I thought that was cool because cattle represents wealth in the Bible, so that's nice. Thanks, we heard that. So notifications for that a lot of local farms have shut down. Oh, in Kenya, a lot of local farms have shut down. Oh wow, that's dreadful. I'm sorry to hear that. Inflation must be pretty bad in Kenya then. But we're not in Dar es Salaam, so I guess we couldn't tell if stuff shut down in Dar es Salaam. But the area we're at, farms haven't been shutting down.
Yeah, it's dry season. It's going through a drought.
East Africa has been in a drought since last year, I think. I think East Africa has had 6 dry seasons. So that's something else to think about. You probably need to dig a well once you get your land. If there are no more questions, we are going to get off. Ethiopia is a major exporter of beef to China. Wow, I didn't know that. That's good. What shipping company did you use for household items? Honestly, we sold everything and left with 5 suitcases. Because from the research we did, we knew beforehand. Oh man, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Shipping stuff over here, you're almost guaranteed to waste a couple $1,000s. Because what happens is it'll be a good experience when you pay the shipping company in America. Oh, everything's good, yay, woo-hoo. Then you go to pick the stuff up, and you're like, oh, I have to pay an extra $3,000 just because you said so. That has happened to numerous people that we've talked to here in Tanzania. That's happened to people in Ghana. We knew a sister here, Melanie Migration. She used to be here. She's in Ghana now. She got scammed out $9,000 dealing with a shipping company based in Tanzania, promising to ship her stuff to Ghana because when it actually got there, nobody wanted to actually let her have her stuff. So I wouldn't do it. I really wouldn't. I would start over and worst case, pick some stuff up in Kenya or South Africa. That's my advice. Yeah, rainy season is coming. That's what Stepping Stone Stephanie said.
So guys, we're gonna get off of here.
Hallelujah for the rain.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We gotta wake up early, get these children off to school. So yes. we going.
Where you rush it off before they ask anything else.
Yeah. Man, any more questions?
Oh, man.
We can wait 10 minutes. Any more questions? Good night, y'all. Man, it's probably the longest live we did.
No, it's not. It's only an hour and 20 minutes. Oh, God.
All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Have faith. Be obedient to the Most High's Ruach. Stay in your word. Increase in His word. And make the hard decisions. And make sure you harvest in season. Harvest in season. That's what the Most High gave me this week. THIS. To harvest in season. So, shalom, shalom, guys.
Love y'all too, Stepping Stones to
Enjoy your night. Enjoy your day. Love you guys. Love you. Stepping Stones to home. Mr. Sky.
Mr. Sky.
Teresa. Shalom, shalom. Siku wema. Lala salama.
Good night. Get your plane ticket. Get your plane ticket. That's it. Go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good. That's all I'm saying. Get your ticket.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Straight on.